I mean, you got me worried about the Yankees being the 8th seed and having to play that first round in the Trop against the Rays.
Historically, are they tough and not play well in the Trop?
Yes. They play awful.
I think that's a lot of people.
They play awful at the Trop.
Yes.
Yeah.
We talking Yanks? Trev, I know you had some questions for us.
Oh, yeah, you said you had questions for us as Yankee fans.
Why don't you ask us as baseball experts?
I think Yankees are the biggest disappointment right now.
Biggest story.
It's because I talk to you guys all the time, I just feel like I see your emotions and I can read your vibe, and a lot of it has to do with how the Yankees are playing, and I feel like that's like a little microcosm. So I also follow some people on Yankees Twitter. I see it all the time. It seems right now everyone is just down. They can't take it. But for you guys who watch a lot of baseball, scale of 1 to 10, what are your New York Yankees deep run in the playoffs chances? Be realistic. Understand that they're going to make the playoffs. Yeah.
What do you mean by deep run? Get to the LCS?
Championship Series. Chance to go to the World Series.
2 out of 10.
2.
Right now. I think it can change in 2 weeks, but a lot needs to happen, so it's a 2 right now for me.
Yeah, this is always the tricky game that me and Jimmy play because it's. I mean, as of right now, they're playing awful baseball. I think they're 5-15 in their last 20. So, like, if the playoffs started right now, I would tell you, 1 or 2. You're praying Colt gets hot and Tanaka can drop D. I like to have the glass half full, and I know baseball is a crazy sport. Like, there is a world where in 2 weeks the Yankees are the hottest team. And it would be really cool if that world happens. But right now, they're a disaster, Trev. 10-run inning. They saved their bullpen for that appearance. And that's the result of it. And it just seems like one thing goes wrong. And I don't know, man. You just see a lot of magical baseball teams like the 2018 Red Sox, man. Like when that top of the lineup came up or the opponent did one mistake, it could have been a drop foul pop-up. And it was like, there is blood in the water. The Yanks just have none of that right now. And I really do think, and it's one of those dumb baseball things that normally I'd yell at someone for having this take, I think it's all eyes on Big Aaron Judge. Like, he's supposed to be the leader. He's supposed to be the best player on the team. He's supposed to be, a face of baseball. And it just feels like they're waiting on him. And maybe that's even rude to Giancarlo Stanton, a guy who's won an MVP. But the way they are playing, it looks like they're looking for leadership. It looks like they're looking for actual baseball help. And so I don't know, man. I really do hope the story changes, and it really can. And I think that's almost it's a little bit of the frustrating part on me and Jim's angle because I'd like to talk more about how bad they are being, but I also know baseball can turn around. But right now, oh my God.
It just seems like it happens so fast with everybody. Like at the beginning of this stretch, you said they're 5-15 in their last 20 games. So the first 2 weeks, that's all it was. Like, man, Judge is coming back. We'll get Giancarlo back. And now it just seems like that additional week really has turned the corner for you guys and for the rest of Yankees Twitter. And I just have never seen the highs and lows.
This is the worst 3-week stretch of Yankees baseball I've ever seen in my entire life. And it's not hyperbole. I did all the number crunching. It's the worst.
So maybe that explains it. It's just to me, like as an observer of baseball fans, like I'm really getting into it with you guys now. I just have never seen that flip like that.
That's part of the reason I love sports. Kind of anything can really happen. It's the original reality TV. So, like, there's a world where the Yankees figure it out. Garrett Cole's awesome. That bullpen locks in. They get healthy, and they give grueling, tough at-bats. And they can play like the New York Yankees. But New York Yankee fans have never seen that. We saw the dynasty teams be the dynasty. Yes. Even the 1 year where their record wasn't good, I forget if it was 99, I think they had like 88 wins, it was still the same dudes. You still believed in Jeter, Posada, Bernie, all those guys. 09, when they won, I mean, they went out and they made big ads before the season. And it was like, all right, let's go. We're the Yankees. We're back. And So I think that's the other reason that Yankee fans get this down, because you don't, they've never really seen a streak like this unless you were alive during the 80s. And then B, it's just not part of the Yankee script. Yankees right now are on the other side of the script. The bullpen comes out, the other team starts salivating, which when you pay Chapman, Britton, Ottavino, and some of those guys the money you do, I mean, those guys' contracts are other teams' payrolls, like as a whole. So that's kind of the tweets you're seeing.
If we did a side-by-side screenshot of 2 weeks ago and then today, you're going to see a joyous Jim, a joyous Jake, and now we're looking, Jim's got a mustache and Jake has 2 slits in his eyes. There's not a better representation of like the change in attitude than that.
They just did this last year, Trev. Like they're going to try and say like, Judge will come back with 2 weeks left. Last year, Gary came back and played 2 games. Edwin didn't even play a game in the last 2 months. Stan came back just for the playoffs. Severino came back, made 2 starts just for the playoffs. And it was like, oh, we're getting all this help right at the end. And I bought into it. I was like, yes. Now they want me to buy into that again. And it's like, no. Like, okay. Judge isn't going to come back, play 2 weeks of baseball. Judge actually may. Actually, he's the only one because whenever he's healthy, he performs. But, like, Stanton, come back and just go in. And then even the guys that are healthy right now aren't playing good. It's Voit and DJ and Clint. Like, Glaber's been bad all year. Gary's benched because he's the worst catcher in all of baseball. He's the worst hitter in all of baseball right now. And then all the platoon players it's just, they're just bad. I mean, no one cry for Yankees fans because we've had a pretty good run. So they're pretty awful right now.
I would never say this usually because I don't necessarily believe in it, but where is Boone's role in all this? It seems like the culture there is no good right now. Like, is he on the hot seat, or is this just like an anomaly because it's 2020 and we've had some guys hurt? Like,
anomaly and injuries will save the way. His job is to be the everything's all right. This isn't who we are. This team gets through tough times.
It's interesting because that doesn't seem like a New York manager to me either. Or at least a person that New Yorkers would want. Yeah, he's a California guy.
He's a Californian.
Running the Yanks.
His first season in 2018, I think every like other series we were like, what the fuck is this vibe? And then 2019, we kind of accepted it because they were really good. And it worked with all the replacement players and everyone coming up. But yeah, no, that's like his mood.
Dude, the Yankees operate like they are this different dominant team that everything is built up for October 1st. And it's like, well, it hasn't worked in the past decade. And why are we the most hurt team in baseball the past 2 years?
Yeah, I think
the rest doesn't seem to be working.
I think that's the craziest thing is the amount of injuries. Like, I don't understand where it goes, like, and why and how and what do you do to fix it. Because no team is built to sustain that. Yeah, they did last year, but now we're seeing probably a lot of luck. Can't do it 2 years in a row, can't do it 3 years in a row. So whatever, I mean.
Well, the guys, like, Gio was a replacement, and he's a starter now. A lot of that stuff. But the Yankees believe that there's an on-off switch. They believe they can we're not going to use our bullpen today, and we'll just win with whatever we have. And then, okay, this game we're going to try our hardest to win. And they think there's an on-off switch. And I think that's a bad way to play the regular season because you should just be on all the time.
Well, yeah, especially in the 60-game set.
Especially in a 60-game set.
And last year, the Yanks were great. They won, 103? Yeah. And then they signed Garrett Cole this offseason, so it's easy to get on the hype train. But also, and I hope this doesn't sound too Yankees because it's honestly what it was. I mean, the Yankees were winning a lot of series. So if it was the third game and getaway day, you were like, okay, if we got to use the bad bullpen today, we already run the set. Like, let's keep it moving. And honestly, I think the numbers showed that. I think they were 27 straight series at home they hadn't lost or something like that. So I don't know. Here's dumb Jake phrase: winning cures everything. If the Yankees win some goddamn games over the next 2 weeks and a couple guys get healthy, I mean, I think we'll be ending sentences with like, watch out for them Yanks, though.
I'm fully expecting that to come back. I feel like I believe in them more than you guys do.
You know I always believe.
It's probably because I'm not as in depth. Like they've been really bad. As I'm on the surface level of it, I guess I don't go down into the trenches enough.
Trev, if they were 8-1 playoff series with the Rays tomorrow, I'd be going, Cole sneaks it out. Tanaka's playoff numbers.
Tanaka playoffs.
Let me tell you, Davey Garcia is about to announce himself to the world. That's exactly what I'd be doing. So,
it's
and
fun.
I'm a
We're
human
coming
idiot.
down to it. Yeah, you can be.
Can be.
You can be. It's coming down to it, man. Like the playoff picture it's shaping up, but there's still a lot to go on in the next 3 weeks.